Greetings to all. Welcome to Future Officers Academy. Today we are going to see the daily current affair of July 25th. Today we are going to discuss the topics of India committed to FTA with UK, which comes under GS2 paper under international relations. Next, no progress on Union Security Council expansion, save former ambassadors, which comes under same GS2 paper, international relations. Next, DRDO test phase 2 ballistic missile defense system, which comes under prelims fact. We have to know only under prelims fact. Next, grasslands in Kutch likely to host cheetahs from Africa, which comes under same prelims fact. Next, angel tax, which comes under terms in news. So we have to know this terms. Next, editorial analysis, and finally mapping. So today our first topic is about India committed to FTA with the UK. Why it is in news, and we have to know about the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaffirmed India's commitment to finalizing an FTA with the UK during talks with Foreign Secretary David Lammy. The discussions focused on enhancing the comprehensive strategic partnership, technology, security, and global collaboration while acknowledging India's growing global influence and economic significance. Now, what is the free trade agreement, that is FTA? FTA is an agreement between the countries or regional blocs to reduce or eliminate trade barriers through mutual negotiations with a view to enhancing trade. It includes goods, services, investment, intellectual property, competition, government, procurement, and other areas. So, this concept of free trade is the opposite of trade protectionism or economic isolationism. FTAs can be categorized as preferential trade agreement, comprehensive economic cooperation agreement, and comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Now, what is the potential significance of India and UK FTA? The first significance is economic growth. An FTA could boost bilateral trade, opening up new markets for India and UK business and thus driving economic growth in both countries. Next, the job creation, investment flow, technology transfer, market access, regulatory cooperation, strategic partnership, and finally the consumer benefits. So these are all the significance of India UK FTA. Now, what are all the challenges seen here? The challenges are regulatory difference, so dividend standards and regulations between India and UK could complicate trade negotiations and implementations. That comes under regulatory difference. Next, the tariff barriers. Next, non-tariff barriers. Intellectual property rights, that is IPR, intellectual property rights. Next, labor and environmental standards. Next, agricultural sector. Public opinion. Service sector concerns. And finally, the political will. So these are the challenges seen in this FTA. With this, we have the prelims question which have been asked in previous year 2017. Consider the following statements. India has ratified the Trade Facilitation Agreement of WTO. TFA is a part of WTO's Bail Ministerial Package of 2013. TFA came into force in January 2016. The answer is A. 1 and second statement is the correct statement. So our next topic is no progress on UN Security Council expansion, say former ambassadors. So we have to know about the news. Despite consistent advocacy, India efforts for UNSC reform and expansion have stalled. Frustration mounts ahead of the UN summits of the future, with the India and G4 partners pressing for permanent seats. Transparent negotiations are ongoing, but substantial progress remains elusive, underscoring global dissatisfaction with the current multilateral system. Now we have the lack of progress on UNSC reform. The first is no concrete progress. No concrete progress. Here, despite continuous efforts, there has been no progress on the reform and expansion of the United Nations Security Council. India and other countries, notably the G4, that is Brazil, Germany, Japan, continue to push for permanent seats but face stagnation in the reform process. And with that, we have next a statement from former diplomats. This is that Ruchira Kamboj, India's former permanent representative to the UN, highlighted the stagnation in reform efforts. While there has been movement in making the intergovernmental negotiations process more transparent, such as live broadcast and digital repositories for proposals, real progress on UNSC expansion remains absent. Next, under this we have disillusionment and alternatives. Under this, they says disillusionment with the current multilateral system is leading member states to explore various alternatives, questioning the effectiveness of the existing UNSC structure. So with this, we have to know about Union Nation Security Council. So the formation and purpose is it is one of the six principal organs of UN established in the year 1945 under the UN Charter to maintain international peace and security. It has the members of 15 members consisting of 5 permanent members with veto power: China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom and the United States, and the 10 elected non-permanent members chosen for 2-year terms by the General Assembly. Now what are the responsibilities of this UNSC? The UNSC is responsible for addressing threats to peace, enforcing sanctions and authorizing the use of force. It can establish peacekeeping operations, impose sanctions and authorize military action. Now, what is the decision making of the UNSC? Resolutions require 9 votes from the 15 members, including unanimous consent of the P5, that is, permanent members. Permanent members have veto power, allowing any of them to block resolutions. Now, what about their meetings and reporting? The UNSC meets regularly and can convene for emergency sessions. It reports annually to the General Assembly of its activities. The United Nations serves as a vital platform for addressing contemporary crises and adapting to evolving challenges. While the need for reform is evident, the UN's continued role in global governance, humanitarian assistance, and the crisis management demonstrates its enduring importance. As the international community grapples with complex global issues, the United Nations stands as an essential institution capable of fostering cooperation, dialogue, and collective action for the betterment of humanity. So with this, we have the prelims question which have been asked in previous year 2022. With the reference to the United Nations Credentials Committee, consider the following statement. It is the committee set up by the UN Security Council and works under its supervision. It traditionally meets in March, June, September every year. It assesses the credentials of all UN members before submitting a report to the General Assembly for the approval. Which of the statement given above is correct? So the answer is A. Only the third statement is correct. Our next topic is about DRDO test phase 2 ballistic missile defense system. So why it doesn't use the DRDO successfully tested its phase 2 ballistic missile defense, that is BMD system capable of intercepting missiles with ranges up to 5,000 km. The test demonstrated the capability to intercept ballistic missile with a range of up to 5,000 km. In phase 1, BMT, which intercepts missiles with ranges up to 2,000 km, is already developed. The main test of phase 2 BMT was conducted in November 2022. During the test, target missile was launched from LC-4 Damra at 1620 hours to stimulate an adversary ballistic missile. Weapon system radars on land and sea detected the target missile. The air defense interceptor system was activated to engage the target. Now with this we have to know about the ballistic missile. It is a rocket propellant self-guided strategic weapon system that follows a parabolic trajectory to deliver a payload from its launch site to the predetermined fixed target. Ballistic missiles can carry conventional high explosives as well as the chemical, biological or nuclear munitions. Ballistic missile defense system in India. A ballistic missile defense system is a missile defense system that acts as a shield against ballistic missile attacks. India's BMD development began in 1999 after the Kargil War. The primary aim was to augment India's defense against possible nuclear attack from Pakistan. India seeks to deploy a functional Iron Dome ballistic missile defense incorporating both low altitude and high altitude interceptor missiles. India's BMT is primarily developed by DRDO with the help of many public and private firms like BEL, Astra Microwave, L&T, etc. Now the ballistic missile of India is Agni K4, that is SLBM. Next, Prahar, Dhanush. Next, Prithvi and Trishul. So these are all the ballistic missiles of India. With this, we have the previous year question which have been asked in prelims 2023. Consider the following statement. Ballistic missiles are jet propelled at subsonic speeds throughout their fights, while cruise missiles are rocket powered only in the initial phase of fight. Agni 5 is a medium-range supersonic cruise missile, while BrahMos is solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile. Which of the statement is given above is correct? The answer is D. Neither one nor two. So both the statements are wrong statement. Our next topic is grasslands in Kutch likely to host cheetahs for Africa. So we have to know about this. As a part of Project Cheetah, some cheetahs may be relocated and to a new breeding center in Banni, Gujarat, with Gandhi Sagar as preferred site. While Banni offers ample space, prey availability is a concern. Cheetahs at Kuno are set for release in October with future imports planned. Some cheetahs from the next batch may be sent to the new conservation center in Banni, Gujarat, part of Project Cheetah next phase. Gandhi Sagar in Madhya Pradesh is currently the preferred location for the next group of cheetahs. The Gujarat government is working to prepare Banni by splitting up necessary infrastructure aiming to complete it with 6 months if possible. Banni covering around 3,500 square kilometers has ample space but lacks sufficient prey to support a viable cheetah population. Antelope species like Chinkara and blackbuck are present but not in adequate numbers. Cheetah may need to be introduced to ensure a sustainable prey base. At Kunnu, 20 cheetahs were introduced since September 2022, with 13 surviving and 13 cubs born, totaling 26 animals. So the reserve capacity is 21 adults. So with this we have the UPSC prelims question which have been asked in 2012. So consider the following: black-necked crane, cheetah, flying squirrel, snow leopard. Which of the following above are naturally found in India? So the answer is B. 1, 3 and 4. Black-necked crane, flying squirrel and snow leopard are seen in India. Our next topic is about angel tax. So recently, the Union Minister of Finance proposed to abolish angel tax for all cases of investors while presenting the Union Budget 2024 in the Parliament. Now we have to know about what is angel tax. It was levied on capital raised via the issue of shares by unlisted companies from an Indian investor if the share price of issued shares is seen in excess of the fair market value of the company. The excess funds raised at price above fair value and treated as income on which tax is levied. It derives its genesis from section 56 class 2 7 Class B of the Income Tax Act 1961. It was the first time introduced in 2012 to prevent black money laundering through share sales. It was levied at a rate of 30.9% on net investments in excess of fair market value. In 2019, the government announced an exemption from the angel tax for startups on fulfillment of certain conditions. These are: the startup should be recognized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that is DPIIT, as an eligible startup. The aggregate amount of paid up share capital and share premium of startup cannot be more than rupees 25 crores. This amount does not include the money raised and non-resident Indians, that is NRIs, venture capital firms and specified companies. For angel investors, the amount of investment that exceeds the fair market value can be claimed 100% tax exemption. However, the investor must have the net worth of rupees 2 crores or an income of more than rupees 25 lakh in the past 3 fiscal years. With this, we have the UPSC prelims question which have been asked previous year 2020. Startups register with the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion of the Government of India are exempted from the payment of the angel tax with conditions. This tax refers to tax payable on capital raised by new listed startup companies via issuance of shares where the share price is seen in excess of fair market value of shares sold. The tax that startup were supposed to pay if they receive loan at discounted rate of interest because of higher success ratio. Tax payable on capital raised by unlisted companies via issuance of shares where the share price is seen in excess of fair market value of shares sold. The tax that startups were supposed to pay when their annual income would cross the specified threshold as per their fair market valuation. Here the answer is C. The third statement is correct. Next, editorial analysis. Our editorial analysis topic is an outlining of urban transformation strategies. It proposes new investments in housing and infrastructure, supports the smart city mission and digital urban management, and addresses solid waste and street vendor issues. Effective implementation and citizen engagement are crucial for success. With this, we have to know about urban population growth and need for investment. India's urban population, approximately 50 crore, represents 36% of total population, growing at 2% to 2.5% annually. The financial year 25 budget acknowledges the importance of cities as growth hubs and outlines a strategic vision for their development. Now we have to know with this about housing initiatives. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban has been effect since 2015, providing 85 lakh housing units for economically weaker sections, that is EWS, and middle income groups with an investment of rupees 8 lakh crore. The budget proposes the construction of an additional 1 crore housing units in urban areas with a total investment of rupees 10 lakh crore. Central assistance for the initiative amounts to 2.2 lakh crore over the next 5 years, with 30,171 crore allocated for the current year. New rental housing for industrial workers will be developed in a public-private partnership mode with viability gap funding, support of 20% from the central government and potential matching support from the state governments. Now, what are the core infrastructure of this investment? The core infrastructure needs for cities include water supply, sanitation, roads and sewage mission. Next, the smart city missions and new initiatives. What is it says about? The Smart Cities Mission budget has declared from 8,000 crore in 2023 to 24 to rupees 2,400 crore in 2024 to 25. The new National Urban Digital Mission, that is NUDM, has been introduced with 1,150 crore allocated for digitizing property and tax records and GIS mapping, aiding urban local bodies in better financial management. With this, we have to know about solid waste management. The solid waste management is highlighted as a crucial issue. The budget introduces special measures to develop bankable SWM projects in collaboration with state governments and financial institutions, utilizing the VGF where applicable. Indo, Madhya Pradesh serves as an example of successful SWM implementation. Now, budget and constitutional provisions. According to Article 112, the Indian Constitution, the Union Budget of a year is referred to the annual financial statement. It is a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of government in a financial year. In addition to it, the budget contains estimates of revenue and capital receipts, way and means to raise the revenue, estimates of expenditure, details of actual receipts and expenditure of the closing financial year, and the reasons for any deficits or surplus in that year. The economic and financial policy of the coming year, that is taxation, proposals, prospects of revenue, spending program, and introduction of new scheme projects. The budget division of Department of Economic Affairs in the Finance Ministry is the nodal body responsible for preparing the budget. Now, what are the challenges have been seen introduced in 2017? Advancement of budget presentation to February 1. So, merger of railway budget with this general budget and doing away with plan and non-plan expenditure. Now, what are all the components of the government budget? The components of government budget are government budget, which has revenue budget, capital budget. Revenue budget have two classifications: revenue, receipts. Next, revenue, expenditure. This revenue receipts has two classifications. They are tax revenue, non-tax revenue. This tax revenue has direct tax and indirect tax. This capital budget has two classifications. They are capital receipts and capital expenditure. So these are all the components of government budget. Now, what are the other types of budgets seen here? So the other types of budgets are zero-based budget, outcome budget, and gender budgeting. So the balanced surplus and deficit budget says that about balanced budget says a government budget is assumed to be balanced if the expected expenditure is equal to the anticipated receipts for the fiscal year. The surplus budget says a budget is said to be surplus when the expected revenue surpasses the estimated expenditure for a particular business. Here the budget becomes surplus when the tax imposed are higher than the expense. The deficit budget is a deficit of expenditure surpass the revenue for this indicator. Yeah, that's all from this editorial analysis. Our next topic is about national parks of India. Under mapping, we are going to see this. They are the areas that set up by the government to conserve the natural environment. A national park has more restrictions as compared to the wildlife sanctuary. The boundaries are fixed and defined. The main objective of national park is to protect the natural environment of the area and biodiversity conservation. Now, what is allowed and what is not allowed inside the national park? No human activities allowed. Grazing of livestock and private tenurial rights are not permitted here. Species mentioned in the schedules of the Wildlife Act are not allowed to be hunted or captured. No person shall destroy, remove or exploit any wildlife from national park or destroy or damage the habitat of any wild animal or deprive any wild animal of its habitat within the national park. They cannot be downgraded to the status of the sanctuary. Now, what are the declaration of the national park? National parks can be declared both by the central government and the state government. No alteration of boundaries of national park shall be made except a resolution passed by the state legislature. Now, what are the important facts about the national parks in India? So, number of national parks is 105 and total area covered is 105 national parks. Total area covered is 40,501 square kilometer. Maximum national park state is Andaman and Nicobar, which has 9. Next, first national park, Jim Corbett National Park. Largest national park is Hemis National Park. Smallest national park is South Button National Park. Latest national park is Kunno National Park. So there are 104 existing national parks in India covering an area of 43,716 kilometer square, which is 1.33% of geographical area of the country. We have different kinds of national parks in a state. So in Andhra Pradesh, we have Papikonda, Rajiv Gandhi, Sri Venkateshwara. In Arunachal Pradesh, we'll be having Mauling, Nandappa. In Assam, Dibru Saikhowa, Kaziranga, Manas, Nameri, Rajiv Gandhi, Dehing Patkai, Raimona. So these are in Assam. In Bihar, we have Valmiki. In Chhattisgarh, Guru Khasidas, that is Sanjay, Indravati, Kanga Valley. So remaining of this national parks in India will continue in our next current affairs video. That's all from our today's topics. To get more daily current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. To read this document, you can visit our website. Our website link have been provided in the description. Thank you.